Hey everybody, it is Scott, aka Rascal, and first thing I want to do is thank everybody who has watched the first video on the XSonic Looper. That's the preview video. We're almost at 1,000 views on that one, and that's incredible. Even more incredible is the number of people who've subscribed to the channel recently. As I've said earlier, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, which is a big milestone, or the first big milestone for a YouTube content creator, and we have made a jump of over 50 subscribers in the last week alone. So almost about 75 away from hitting the 1,000. So everybody who subscribes, I really appreciate it. You're making my day every time I see that number go up, and wow, thank you so much. So back to this ULooper preview video. I think I missed a lot of things on there. There's been a lot of comments and questions, and I want to kind of go over those. So the first thing I want to do is apologize to XSonic for not representing this 100% perfectly. You guys let me do this video early, and I appreciate that. So let me see if I can go ahead and cover all the bases. The first basis is, well, what makes this different from any other looper? As we saw in the original video, the ULooper actually connects, whoops, green screen, haha, via USB to the amps. And what that does is creates a makeshift effects loop or effects loop so that the tones coming out of the USB audio out go into the ULooper and get recorded that way. So all your presets, your tones, your effects are getting recorded that way through the USB out. Then what it's doing is taking that loop and sending the signal back via USB audio in, so you can go ahead and hear that amplified through the Spark amp or through the headphones attached to it. So if you go ahead and change your tone or an effect, then that's going to go ahead and be reflected as you're playing over the original loop or in your overdubs. Now what I've done is created a little 30-second video showing exactly that. So let's look at that first and then talk about the rest of the features. Okay, so as you saw there, I recorded a loop with no overdrive, went ahead and used my Spark control to turn on a fuzz pedal, and then record a little bit over it. So what you saw there was play the original loop, change the tone, play, overdub, and then you heard both the loop and the overdub playing by themselves at the end there. So as you can see, I'm able to go ahead and change the tones easily and play over, something different. So you can go ahead and do a rhythm and then play lead over it, changing, your overdrive or your reverb, whatever you want to. So that's kind of what makes this different, because if you were to use a standard looper pedal with a Spark amp, you're going to go from your guitar to the looper to the Spark amp. So all you're doing is really looping the dry guitar signal. If you go ahead and were to change any presets, then the original loop is going to change its sound as well. There are ways around this. You can go ahead and put your Spark into a standard loop pedal, into a powered amp or speaker, but that's a lot more hardware. So if you want to go ahead and do looping with the tones and presets and effects inside your Spark amp, then this right now is the best way to go. So I hope that answers that question. Let me look over the rest here. So one thing I didn't mention was that the ULooper, as long as you are powering it with a 1 amp or 1000 milliamp power supply, whether it's a 9 volt or via a USB in, that will go ahead and actually charge the Go and the Mini. So you can go ahead and basically have one power source to power that whole chain. It powers the ULooper, and then we'll go ahead and power a Go or a Mini. Some people asked, how long are the loops on this? Right now, it is set to be up to 3 hours. Now, it's only a single loop, but you can have a very large loop on that. And the other question was, how many overdubs? And so far, I've recorded about 5 or 6 deep, and, it keeps going. So I've been told unlimited overdubs, but I'm sure there's a physical limit somewhere. Some people ask, does headphone out work? Yes, it does. The headphone out of your amp can still be used to listen, A, privately, or B, go ahead and go to another powered amp such as the Spark Cab. Let me see if I got anything else here. Headphone out, yep. Loops, yep. Unlimited overdubs. Let me look over this thing one more time and see if there's any other questions. Some people said, can this be used with other USB-based amps? Maybe. That is something that XSonic is looking for in the future, but right now the initial run is going to be set for the Spark amps. People ask, what about this input right here, Scott? That looks like a guitar input. It does. Right now, there's no functionality added to that. Hopefully in a future firmware, looking at such things as adding an additional pedal to go ahead and work for overdubs, erasing them, and things like that, or possibly an actual line in or guitar in to use with any amp. So we'll see how that goes. The output here, that right now, you can go ahead and take the line out from this and go to a powered amp or powered speaker. So I do know a lot of folks who are taking, let's say, their Spark 40 USB into the device here for the loop. That's power. USB into there for the loop. It goes back to the amp, but what they do is go ahead and have the amp's volume down and go ahead and use the output here to go to their Spark Cab. So it's actually a cleaner output to the Spark Cab than using the headphone jack, since the Spark 40 does not have line out capabilities. So that is an added bonus feature there. People asked, Scott, is it really loud when it clicks? It depends on how hard I press it. I mean, here, right in front of the mic. If I press it, you can barely hear it. But obviously, when you're stomping on it to get those loops down, you're going to hear it. So, but play loud enough and you won't hear it. And you can tell on that video I did that you could actually hear my guitar strings playing and being picked up by the iPhone that was recording that. And so it's picking up a lot of ambient sounds that way. There's another question. Scott, that wall of guitars behind you, man, that's really cool. Yeah, it kind of is fake. This is total green screen, and that is a photograph I took over at Guitar Center here in Lexington, Kentucky. So I needed something put behind me because what's really behind me right now is my basement. I could move the desk and show you my arcade, but this is guitar content, so I wanted to have something nice behind me. Looking down the rest of the list here, let me see here. I touch on changing tones, what makes this different than other loopers, that it can power the Mini and the Go. Headphone out does work. 3 hours for the loop, unlimited overdubs. I don't think I missed anything there. So this hopefully should kind of wrap up the loose ends from the original preview video and give you guys an idea of what is making this thing so special for the Spark amps. And as I said, if you basically have a nice battery pack that goes into the power in here, then you use this USB to go to, let's say, your Spark Go. That is a single power source powering them all. There was another question. Somebody did ask, can I power the ULooper from the USB on the Spark amps? The answer is no. The USB on the Spark amps has 3 functions on the Go and the Mini. That is power in, USB audio out, USB audio in. It does not provide power out. And the Spark 40, that USB is strictly audio out, audio in. There is nothing on that. There was one other question. Somebody asked, can I go ahead and play backing tracks to my Spark amp via Bluetooth? The answer to that would be not at the same time as using the ULooper. What happens is when you use Bluetooth in to one of the Spark amps, it goes ahead and disconnects the USB audio out. So that would basically break the functionality to the ULooper. So you cannot play backing tracks via Bluetooth. But that's kind of a different scenario anyway. You're either going to go ahead and play the backing tracks via Bluetooth, or you're going to want to go ahead and create your own backing tracks via the ULooper. So I hope that answers that question for you. I think that answers all the questions. If there's any more I did not answer, please leave the questions here on as a comment in this video. And that way everybody who watches the video, no matter where I post a link to, can go ahead and see your question and my answer. So I hope that goes ahead and clears up everything I missed on this cool product. There were some other questions. Wait, when available and how much? Soon, I don't know. They've been talking ballpark pricing, but all that kind of discussion is kind of under an NDA, so I cannot discuss that publicly. They do want to be aggressive on the pricing, so keep your eyes peeled. I think the numbers they've been talking about, the ranges they've been talking about, are totally in line with what this product does. If you look at other loopers out there, you'll see you can get really dirt cheap knockoff ones for 40, $50. The average starting looper is in the $100 range, and then the more advanced loopers, such as Sheeran's Looper X, is going to be somewhere around 300 and change. So there's a long, big range there, but this is going to be comfortably down there with some of the beginner looper pedals. Let me look over my list here. I think I nailed it. So everybody, thank you again for watching this video and the previous video. All the new subscribers so far, trust me, I heart you or love you or something like that. Every time I see a new subscriber, my eyes light up. The wife is very supportive of this, mission of mine. And every time I tell her that we got a new subscriber, she's really happy about it. So not only are you making my day, you're making my wife's day. So thank you for subscribing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on the way out. As you've noticed, I answer all comments on my video and try to answer them on social media. But if you can leave the questions and comments here on the video, that'd be best so that everybody can, see them in one place. If you haven't subscribed yet, and this is your second or third Guitar Gear video you watch from me, I'd really like to earn your business. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll see future videos coming out. I think I've got a few more on the Spark line, but I've also got some coming out on the Boss Katana, sorry. So thanks again for watching, and just keep playing.